Dr. Isabella Nash stared at the holographic display floating above her laboratory bench, her dark eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of quantum probability curves. The results couldn't be right, yet there they were, defying everything humanity thought they knew about the universe's fundamental constants. Raj, are you seeing this? She called to her research partner, Dr. Rajesh Patel, who was already hurrying over from his workstation, tablet in hand. These readings, he muttered, his usually composed demeanor cracking. They're impossible, Bella. The Planck constant doesn't just change. But that's exactly what they were witnessing. In their attempt to develop more efficient quantum computing algorithms, they'd stumbled upon something far more profound, evidence that the universe's most basic rules weren't as immutable as science had always claimed. The Newark Quantum Research Center hummed around them, its massive underground facility housing some of the most advanced equipment humanity had ever created. Through the lab's glass walls, Isabella could see other scientists going about their routine work, unaware that everything they thought they knew about physics was about to change. "We need to run it again," Isabella declared, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Full diagnostic sweep, triple redundancy. If there's an error in our methodology, we need to find it." 12 hours later, they were still at it. Empty coffee cups littered their workstation, and Isabella's usually neat ponytail had come undone, dark strands falling around her face as she scrutinized the latest results. "That's the 15th confirmation," Raj said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Different parameters, different approaches, same result. The Planck constant isn't constant at all. It's responsive to conscious observation at a level we never thought possible." Isabella leaned back in her chair, her mind racing with implications. "Do you realize what this means, Raj? Every physics textbook ever written is wrong. Not just slightly off, fundamentally wrong. The quantum field doesn't just allow observation to influence reality," Raj continued, excitement creeping into his voice. "It's actively responsive to conscious intent. We're not just observers of the universe's laws. We're participants," Isabella finished. "The constants aren't constant because they were never meant to be. They're more like guidelines that can be negotiated." The implications were staggering. If fundamental constants could be influenced by conscious observation and intent, everything humanity thought they knew about the limitations of physics would need to be reconsidered. Faster-than-light travel, manipulation of gravitational fields, even the possibility of time dilation. All of it might be achievable through properly focused conscious intention. What they didn't know was that their discovery had already sent ripples through the cosmos. In a dimension beyond human perception, ancient sensors that had remained dormant for millennia suddenly sparked to life. Deep in space, aboard a vessel that defied human comprehension, first observer Kyrex of the Veldari continuity felt a sensation they hadn't experienced in over 10,000 years: surprise. The monitoring systems that tracked universal constants throughout the galaxy had detected something impossible: a localized fluctuation in the Planck constant. "Analysis," Kyrex commanded, their crystalline form shimming with concern. The ship's quantum core processed the data, converting it into a form the Veldari could comprehend. The results were clear. On a small planet in an unremarkable solar system, a species had just discovered that the universe's fundamental laws were mutable. It wasn't supposed to be possible. The Veldari had spent eons ensuring that younger races developed along prescribed paths, maintaining the delicate balance of cosmic law. Yet somehow, these humans had stumbled upon the universe's greatest secret, that reality itself was negotiable. Back on Earth, Isabella and Raj were preparing to present their findings to the center's director. They had no way of knowing that their discovery would soon attract attention from beings they couldn't imagine, or that humanity was about to be thrust onto a cosmic stage they never knew existed. "Ready?" Isabella asked, gathering their data tablets. Raj nodded, straightening his lab coat. "Ready, though I doubt anyone else will be." As they walked to the director's office, the quantum computers behind them continued their calculations, each iteration further confirming what they'd found. Hidden cameras throughout the facility recorded their movement, the footage being analyzed by both human security systems and, unknown to anyone on Earth, vastly more advanced alien observers. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what humanity would do with knowledge they were never supposed to have. In the depths of space, the Veldari ship adjusted its course, preparing for first contact with a species that had done the impossible. The age of cosmic constants was ending. The age of human possibility was about to begin. The Veldari High Council chamber was in chaos, a state it hadn't experienced in 50,000 years. The vast crystalline structure, suspended in the void between dimensions, pulsed with agitated energy as its members struggled to process the implications of humanity's discovery. First observer Kyrex floated in the center of the chamber, their crystalline form projecting data streams that filled the space with shimmering light. The evidence is irrefutable, they announced, their thoughts resonating through the quantum field that connected all Veldari consciousness. The humans have not only detected the mutable nature of universal constants, they have begun to manipulate them. High Guardian Zena, whose form had witnessed the birth and death of countless civilizations, moved forward. The ancient being's crystalline structure contained patterns that had formed during the universe's first moments. In all our existence, no emerging species has discovered this truth so early. They haven't even mastered basic interstellar travel. That's what makes it so remarkable, second observer Lyra interjected, their younger forms sparkling with excitement. They approached the problem backwards. Instead of mastering space travel first, they discovered the underlying nature of reality itself. It's unprecedented. The chamber erupted in a cascade of overlapping thought patterns as hundreds of Veldari debated simultaneously. Some called for immediate intervention, arguing that humanity wasn't ready for such knowledge. Others advocated observation, curious to see what this young species would do with their discovery. We must consider the axioms, High Guardian Zena reminded them, invoking the fundamental principles that had guided Veldari civilization for millions of years. When a species discovers the mutable nature of reality, they must be evaluated. If they prove unworthy, their discovery must be adjusted. The meaning was clear to all present. Throughout history, the Veldari had occasionally encountered civilizations that stumbled upon universal truths too early. In each case, they had carefully altered the species' collective memory, erasing dangerous knowledge to preserve cosmic stability. But Kyrex had spent weeks studying humanity, and something about this case felt different. Before we consider adjustment, they said carefully, I request permission to share what my observations have revealed. At Zena's acknowledgement, Kyrex projected a new series of images into the chamber. They showed moments from human history. Cave paintings and pyramids, steam engines and spacecraft, quantum computers and artificial intelligence. But more importantly, they showed humanity's responses to discovering their own mistakes. Unlike other species we've encountered, Kyrex explained, humans have a remarkable capacity for adapting their understanding when presented with new information. They don't cling to outdated models out of pride or tradition. They embrace new paradigms with extraordinary flexibility. The images shifted to show Dr. Isabella Nash and Dr. Rajesh Patel in their laboratory, the moment they first realized what they discovered. Observe their reactions, Kyrex continued. Not denial, not fear, but excitement and immediate acceptance of new possibilities. They didn't try to force their discovery to fit existing models. They immediately began considering how to revise everything they thought they knew. Lyra moved closer to examine the humans' expressions. Fascinating. Most species experience severe psychological distress when their fundamental understanding of reality is challenged. These humans seem almost eager for it. There's more, Kyrex added. In the 3 weeks since their discovery, they haven't rushed to weaponize the knowledge or seek personal power. They've methodically documented everything, designed reproducible experiments, and prepared to share their findings with the global scientific community. They're treating this discovery with remarkable responsibility. High Guardian Zena remained silent for a long moment, their ancient form processing this information. When they finally spoke, their thoughts carried the weight of eons. You're suggesting we consider a third option. Instead of erasing their discovery or merely observing them, I suggest we make contact, Kyrex confirmed. Not as controllers or mere observers, but as equals, perhaps even as students. The chamber erupted again. But this time, the chaos carried notes of excitement rather than fear. The possibility Kyrex suggested was radical. The Veldari had never approached an emerging species as potential equals before. They are still primitive in many ways, one council member objected. Their planet is divided, their technology crude, their societies often in conflict. Yet they've done what no other young species has managed, Lyra countered. They've peered beyond the veil of reality itself, not through brute force or accident, but through elegant mathematics and bold theoretical leaps. And they did it while still using combustion engines for ground transportation. High Guardian Xena raised their form, commanding attention. The implications of this decision will echo through eternity. If we make contact and they prove unworthy, the consequences could be catastrophic. But if they are worthy, they left the thought unfinished, allowing the council to contemplate the possibilities. I propose a test, Kyrex suggested. Let us reveal ourselves to their two lead researchers first. Their reactions will tell us everything we need to know about humanity's readiness. As the council deliberated, back on Earth, Isabella and Raj were finalizing their presentation for the international scientific community. They had no idea they were about to face an audience far beyond anything they could imagine. In the space between moments, the Veldari made their decision. The universe held its breath once again, waiting to see if humanity would face its greatest opportunity or its final exam. Director James Wilson sat frozen in his office chair, staring at the Planck constant data scrolling across his holographic display. He'd reviewed Isabella and Raj's findings a dozen times, each pass making him more uncertain about how to proceed. As director of the Newark Quantum Research Center, he'd seen his share of groundbreaking discoveries, but this was different. A soft chime interrupted his thoughts. "Sir," his AI assistant announced, "Dr. Nash and Dr. Patel are here for their scheduled presentation." Before he could respond, reality itself seemed to hiccup. The air in his office shimmered like heat waves over hot asphalt, and suddenly three crystalline beings stood, or rather, floated, in the room. Their translucent forms pulsed with internal light, making the morning sunlight streaming through the windows seem dull in comparison. To everyone's surprise, Isabella's first reaction wasn't fear or shock, but academic curiosity. "Fascinating," she breathed, stepping closer to examine the nearest being. "Your molecular structure appears to exist in at least 5 dimensions simultaneously." 7. Actually, the crystalline entity responded, its thoughts somehow converting to perfect English. "I am First Observer Kyrex of the Veldari Continuity. We've been monitoring your recent discovery with great interest." Raj, who had instinctively moved to stand beside Isabella, found his voice. "You're here because we proved the Planck constant isn't constant, aren't you?" "Indeed," another entity, their form more elaborate and ancient-looking, replied. "I am High Guardian Xena. Your discovery has disrupted certain cosmic assumptions." Director Wilson, still behind his desk, finally managed to speak. "I assume you're not here to simply congratulate us?" The third being, whose crystalline structure sparkled with younger energy, moved forward. "I am Second Observer Lyra. We're here to evaluate humanity's readiness for this knowledge, and perhaps to learn from you." What followed was the most extraordinary scientific discussion in human history. For hours, the 3 humans and 3 Veldari exchanged ideas, theories, and discoveries. The Veldari explained how they had spent millions of years as universal custodians, ensuring cosmic laws remained stable. The humans, in turn, shared their unique approach to quantum mechanics that had led to their breakthrough. "Your method is unorthodox," Kyrex observed, examining Isabella's equations. "You approached quantum manipulation through the lens of information theory rather than pure physics. No other species has attempted this." Isabella nodded, excitement overriding any lingering fear of the alien beings. "We realized that if quantum states respond to observation, then information itself must be a fundamental force of reality. The constants aren't really constant, they're more like consensus reality, variables in an ongoing negotiation between consciousness and the quantum field," Raj added, pulling up additional data on his tablet. "We've already demonstrated small-scale manipulations. Watch this." He initiated a quantum computation, but instead of letting it run normally, he applied their new understanding of conscious intention. The results appeared instantly, bypassing the usual calculation time completely. The Veldari observers vibrated with what might have been surprise. "You've achieved quantum temporal manipulation without a phase-locked reality engine?" Lyra asked incredulously. "That technology shouldn't be possible at your development level." "That's because we didn't build technology to do it," Isabella explained. "We simply proved to the universe that it was possible, and reality adjusted to match our proof. The mathematics were irrefutable, so the universe had no choice but to comply." High Guardian Zena's form pulsed with deep patterns. "You understand the implications of this approach? You're not just discovering the universe's laws, you're rewriting them through pure logic and intention." Director Wilson leaned forward. "Is that allowed?" The question hung in the air for a moment before Kyrex responded. "In all our existence, we've never encountered a species that simply asked the universe to reconsider its own rules. We enforce cosmic law. You negotiate with it." "Which brings us to the purpose of our visit," Zena announced. "Humanity stands at a crossroads. Your discovery cannot be undone. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge?" Isabella and Raj exchanged glances before Isabella spoke. "We want to share it with the world's scientific community. This isn't something that should be held by one lab or one nation. This is knowledge that belongs to all of humanity." "Even knowing how dangerous this knowledge could be?" Lyra challenged. "Other species have torn themselves apart with far less powerful discoveries." "That's exactly why it needs to be shared," Raj argued. "Secrets this big have a way of getting out, and hidden knowledge is more dangerous than open knowledge. If we publish everything, the entire scientific community can help establish proper protocols and ethical guidelines." The three Veldari withdrew slightly, their forms connecting in what appeared to be a private conference. The humans waited, aware that this moment would likely determine the future of their species. Finally, the aliens returned their attention to the room. "We have reached a decision," Kyrex announced. "Humanity will be permitted to retain this knowledge, on one condition." "Name it," Director Wilson said quickly. "You must accept your place as full members of the cosmic community," Zena stated. "Not as junior members to be supervised, but as full partners in maintaining universal stability. Your unique approach to cosmic law may be exactly what the universe needs at this moment in history." As the implications of this offer sank in, Isabella felt a smile spreading across her face. Humanity had just been offered a seat at the ultimate table, not through military might or technological superiority, but through their willingness to question everything and imagine new possibilities. The age of cosmic negotiation was about to begin. News of humanity's breakthrough and their newfound partnership with the Veldari spread through the cosmos like a quantum wave, causing reactions that ranged from wonder to panic among the galaxy's established civilizations. The Arcturian Collective, beings of pure energy who had prided themselves on their mastery of physical laws, were particularly disturbed. "Impossible," First Archon Varix declared to the assembled Arcturian Council, their energy form flickering with agitation. "These humans are barely out of their gravity well. They still believe fusion power is advanced technology. How could they possibly have grasped the mutable nature of reality?" In another corner of the galaxy, the synthetics of the Silicon Concordat processed the information through their vast neural networks, reaching a very different conclusion. "Fascinating," primary node 0001 transmitted to its billions of connected minds. "The humans have essentially hacked the universe's source code. Their approach is elegant in its simplicity." Meanwhile, back on Earth, Isabella and Raj found themselves at the center of a global scientific revolution. The United Nations had hastily convened a special session, with the two scientists addressing representatives from every nation via holographic projection. "What we're proposing," Isabella explained to the assembled delegates, "is the establishment of a global quantum research initiative. This knowledge is too important, and too potentially dangerous, to be controlled by any single nation or organization." Raj stepped forward, adding, "With the Veldari's guidance, we've already begun understanding how other civilizations have managed similar discoveries. But our human approach offers unique advantages." The chamber erupted in questions and concerns. A representative from India leaned forward. Dr. Patel, are you suggesting that human consciousness itself is the key to manipulating universal constants? Exactly, Raj responded, bringing up a holographic demonstration. Other species developed massive technological infrastructures to achieve what we can do with pure mathematics and focused intention. We don't need to build reality engines. We can prove to the universe that our calculations are correct, and reality adjusts accordingly. In orbit above Earth, aboard their crystalline vessel, the Veldari observers monitored these proceedings with growing appreciation. Their adaptation rate is remarkable, Lyra noted. In just 3 months, they've already begun developing practical applications. Kyrex gestured to a display showing various human research facilities. Look at how they're approaching it. Hundreds of different teams, each taking a slightly different approach, all sharing their results openly. The parallel processing power of their collective intelligence is impressive. The displays showed scenes from around the world. In Tokyo, researchers had successfully altered the local gravity constant by 0.1%, creating a controlled low-gravity environment without any traditional technology. In Sao Paulo, a team had managed to accelerate quantum evolution in plant life, creating crops that could grow to maturity in days rather than months. In Cape Town, scientists had found a way to manipulate the strong nuclear force, leading to new possibilities for clean energy production. But not all reactions were positive. In a hidden facility deep beneath the Ural Mountains, General Viktor Petrov stared at his own data screens with growing concern. If what these scientists say is true, he growled to his assembled staff, then whoever masters this knowledge first could rewrite the rules of reality itself. We cannot allow our enemies to gain this advantage. The Veldari had anticipated such reactions. Without warning, Kyrex materialized in Petrov's bunker, causing the military staff to reach for weapons that suddenly turned to crystal flowers in their hands. An interesting demonstration, Kyrex observed calmly, of why such knowledge must be shared openly. When everyone has access to these abilities, no one can use them for dominance. Across the galaxy, other civilizations began reaching their own conclusions about humanity's discovery. The hive mind of Betelgeuse 7 initiated diplomatic contact for the first time in 10,000 years. The quantum monks of the Crab Nebula announced they would accept human students into their metaphysical academies. Even the notoriously xenophobic cloud dwellers of the Orion Spur requested observer status at human research facilities. But it was the Silicon Concordat's response that proved most surprising. Primary node 0001 transmitted a request for direct neural interface with human quantum researchers, offering to combine artificial and organic consciousness in the exploration of universal laws. Your biological intuition paired with our processing power, the AI proposed, could unlock understanding beyond anything either of us could achieve alone. As these developments unfolded, Isabella found herself working late one night in her lab, examining data from the latest experiments. The numbers on her screen showed something extraordinary, evidence that human consciousness, when properly focused, could influence quantum fields across interstellar distances instantaneously. Raj, she called to her partner, who was calibrating instruments across the room. I think we just proved that consciousness isn't bound by light speed limitations. Before he could respond, their lab's quantum field sensors began registering massive disturbances. Something was happening to the fabric of reality itself, something that would force humanity to face the full implications of their discovery. The universe, it seemed, had more surprises in store, and humanity's negotiation with reality was about to enter a new phase that would challenge everything they thought they had learned. The quantum disturbances that Isabella and Raj detected weren't isolated incidents. Across the galaxy, reality itself seemed to be responding to humanity's new understanding of universal constants. It was as if the cosmos had been waiting for a species to realize its true nature, that physical laws were more like suggestions open to negotiation. High Guardian Zena materialized in the Newark lab, their crystalline form radiating urgency. Your discovery has triggered something we haven't seen since the early universe, they announced. Reality is becoming more flexible. Isabella looked up from her instruments, her eyes wide. The quantum field readings are off the scale. It's like the universe itself is becoming more responsive to conscious intention. Precisely, Kyrex added, appearing alongside Zena. Your species' understanding of reality as negotiable has created a cascading effect. Other civilizations are beginning to approach universal constants with the same creative interpretation. Across Earth, the effects were becoming visible even to the general public. The sky occasionally shimmered with new colors as light itself responded to humanity's expanded understanding of its nature. Gravity became noticeably more subjective, with some areas experiencing subtle fluctuations based on the collective expectations of local populations. In response to these developments, the United Nations hastily convened an emergency session of the newly formed Quantum Relations Council. Representatives from Earth's nations joined with delegates from 24 alien civilizations, including several Veldari observers. Dr. Rajesh Patel addressed the assembled beings, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "What we're witnessing isn't a breakdown of universal law," he explained. "It's an evolution. The cosmos is becoming more responsive to conscious intention across all species." The Silicon Concordat's primary node projected its thoughts directly into the consciousness of all present. "Our combined analysis suggests that reality itself is entering a new phase of existence. The rigid constants of the previous universal epoch are being replaced by more dynamic, consciousness-responsive variables." Isabella stepped forward, her holographic form visible to all attendees. "But this doesn't mean chaos. Our research shows that reality maintains consistency through consensus. The more minds agree on how something should work, the more stable that aspect of reality becomes." The implications were staggering. The universe was transforming from a place of fixed laws to one where reality was shaped by the collective understanding and intention of all conscious beings. It was democracy on a cosmic scale. High Guardian Zena addressed the council, their form pulsing with ancient wisdom. "For billions of years, we Veldari believed our role was to maintain the rigid structure of cosmic law. Now we understand that the universe itself desires evolution. Humanity has shown us that reality is not a set of rules to be enforced, but a conversation to be had." The next few months saw unprecedented cooperation between species. Human quantum researchers worked alongside alien scientists, artificial intelligences, and even conscious quantum computers to understand and stabilize the new nature of reality. The Arcturians contributed their energy manipulation expertise, while the quantum monks shared millennia of metaphysical wisdom. But perhaps most remarkably, humanity's unique approach, combining mathematical rigor with imaginative flexibility, proved crucial in helping all species adapt to the new paradigm. Earth became a cosmic hub of innovation, where representatives from thousands of civilizations came to learn what humans called the art of possibility. 1 year after their initial discovery, Isabella and Raj stood in their lab, watching a demonstration that would have been impossible under the old understanding of physics. A group of human children, working with young aliens of various species, were learning to consciously adjust local reality fields through a combination of mathematics and focused intention. "Look at how naturally they grasp it," Raj remarked, smiling as a young girl helped a crystalline alien child understand how to modify local time flow through pure thought. "No preconceptions about what's impossible." Isabella nodded, remembering their own struggle to accept what they discovered that first day. "We didn't break the universe's rules," she realized. "We just helped it remember that it could change them." In orbit above Earth, the Veldari High Council convened a special session to mark the anniversary of humanity's discovery. High Guardian Zena addressed the assembled representatives of countless civilizations. "The age of fixed constants is over," they declared. "The age of conscious creation has begun. And thanks to humanity's unique vision, we face this new era not with fear, but with wonder at the possibilities before us." As if in response, the fabric of reality rippled with potential, the quantum field singing with the harmonious intentions of billions of minds across the cosmos. The universe had evolved, and all conscious beings were now part of its ongoing creation. Back in their lab, Isabella and Raj shared a knowing look as their instruments detected yet another shift in the quantum fields. Somewhere out there, another species was learning to negotiate with reality, adding their voice to the greatest conversation in cosmic history. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for someone to simply ask if things could be different. Humanity had asked that question and reality itself had answered. Anything is possible if you can prove it should be. And that was just the beginning.